Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to X's for Show, your premier media response show for all your favorite things. It's a Sunday night, so of course we're talking Drag Race. I'm NICO, and you guys can check me out at NICO Action. That's NICOACTION.
And I'm TK. You can find me at TK Accidental.
And that makes me Tori. You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
Hey everyone, it's Jonah. You can follow me places at Peak Jonah.
And I'm your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the channel to let us know what you want us to cover in the future. But yeah, we are really excited tonight to be talking about our grand experiment, the Drag Race Draft. And NICO, take it away.
Okay, so it all started with an idea. I've been talking a lot about with people how, like, when you go to a strip club, and you're like a straight dude, you're like dollar bills. And like when you go to a drag show and, you're a good person, you're like dollar bills. And I'm like, I just feel like the straights shouldn't get to have all the sport fun. We should steal it. And so, no, I mean, really, it's that coming up with the realization that the stats of Drag Race are so inherently gamified by their virtue of being in a discipline, in a type of challenge, reliable with a certain number of games changing. And so, like, we realized that Drag Race is gameable. And like with that, we came to love this idea. And, Tori, you didn't just take it, you ran with it.
She flew, she slew, she dropped dead. And I think one of the things that we really focused in on early is how to make this something where everything is less subjective. What makes this an objective stat? And so we really went looking at, tops and bottoms and safes and lip syncs and, what each category could possibly be in. And I think that we built something that is definitely the foundation of where we want to be. And I'm so excited to get to the end, show you all how kind of the ending kind of works, and then really just like go everywhere from there.
Because it's ending, and that's what's crazy. Like, we played this game, we drafted everything up, and like we've had a lot of experiences putting this together. The first thing I do want to say is that like we all came together and we gamed Drag Race, and that was amazing. I want to say that for me, the actual fun part was like hearing everybody come alive. We're going to talk about memories. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to get us kicked off. I feel so bad because my system was not loading what I needed it to.
I mean, I've been very distracted right now because Kevo's beautiful cover for today includes Bianca with a crown on her head, and my brain just literally went, She's here. She
made it.
So
I want to turn it to everybody. I want to hear everybody talk about their teams, talk about their feels on their teams. We're going to have some opportunities to talk about how you might have added to your team in a little bit. But talk to me about your girls. Like, I know that I feel closer to these girls in a real parasocial way.
And I was just using mine. No, I think I picked a group of girls that I could never imagine myself like actually getting close to. For the purpose of exactly that, like feeling like they were, really good characters in an RPG. Because, this is a draft, but it's also kind of an RPG. And what's funny is I picked girls without great numbers, in large part because a bunch of them didn't do seasons where the numbers would add up. They just did seasons where they didn't have a lot of the challenges. But I did girls where I could imagine authentically talking about what they might do in a Drag Race challenge. And I think that for me is one of the really fun things about this game. And like one of the we did it a lot, but I think we've got to talk about other ways to kind of score it and add that into it, which is just like, if you as a producer player can really dream up cool things that feel plausible that your girls would do, I think it makes it really fun. I think it's something we all did. Like I loved hearing about all of your players and what they would do too. But for me, it was also really fun to imagine my girls and what they would do, because I have seen all of their seasons, and these are 5 girls that I love so much that I really felt like I could imagine, like, okay, if this is a fashion challenge, I just absolutely know what Violet would do, like the kind of risks that Violet would take to make it really fashion. And if it's comedy challenge, I know what Bob and Katya are going to do. And yeah, I mean, it was just really fun. That aspect of it with the team that I chose was really fun, because these are girls I feel like I'm really locked in with.
And I definitely feel like I approach this very differently. As someone who built all these stats, I was like, I know these stats inside out. I'm going to pick my gals really based on stats. And one of the things that I think I lost in this is the joy of the girls. Like I didn't lose it for myself. I still love my girls, but that connection was not there for me. And I think that my team, which was very stacked to do very well and did do quite well, kudos to us, lacked that. And one of the things that we sort of do on the back end that we don't really talk about to our lovely audience is that there is a certain amount of we do judge the challenges, and how high people put these girls on the challenges kind of does that. And that's affected by how we talk about them, how we present them to the rest of the group. And I think that TK did an excellent job of doing that. And I did a very mid job of that and was relying on my body of work as opposed to coming new.
Much like any queen coming into the workroom, you learned on the fly. NICO.
It's true.
I feel so stupid trying to explain this to people, but I keep trying to be like, you guys understand that carrots aren't overwhelmingly good for your eyes, and that like rabbits aren't obsessed with them. You understand that spinach isn't tren, right? Like you understand that these things are not the same, but because you hear them, you automatically associate it. So like sometimes we think these things about these girls because we hear the people say them. And then when you go back, you're like, no, that's not true at all. That girl fucking kills it at lip syncs. She is funny. What are people saying? And so like, I feel like that's really what we got to do. You guys, like, you know, we got to talk about the different parts of these queens. And I really love what you guys are highlighting there. Jonah, I want to point out something you've said 1,000 times throughout the season, and I'm just going to call you out because I think it's a good thing. It's because you're calling us out, but I'm going to call you out to call us out. So really, I'm serving the tea that you're going to serve back to me. So Jonah has said a bunch of times, I love this game, but the challenges don't do a lot.
Like Ben.
I love, you know, I'm kind of just echoing what other people are saying. I love what would these people do? I'm a writer at Drag Race. I'm a producer. How am I getting my story? What girls am I trying to put the story for this week? How am I going to get people to watch the show? What kind of narrative am I making? All that part is fun, especially kind of conceptualizing, like, how would you tackle this challenge? What would you do? It's a really good thought experiment, and I love hearing what you guys come up with.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I love pushing the boundaries of that form of creativity. And what does that mean? But sometimes, like in Drag Race, the challenge doesn't actually matter for anything because all it does for the way that we set the game up was just put the girl in, and then it's dependent on their lip sync score. And so in my brain and the way I gamify everything, I was thinking, well, Rosé and Trinity don't have good lip sync scores on my team, and I love them and I love their runs that they've done on their respective seasons. But I'm almost in a way disincentivized to putting them in challenges because if you want to win badges, well, then you have to win the lip sync. So I think maybe if we do a season 2, we do an all-stars version, thinking about ways that we can incorporate, you know, what we enjoyed about the challenge, like the challenge winner, and adding something to that while also getting some benefit out of the lip sync. I think we lip sync away because give me any opportunity to roll a dice, I'll give you what you like. But I want there to feel, I in a way, like the game, I'm like, I want my choices to matter. I want like everybody's creativity to matter. I want people to feel like the things that they put into a game, the things that they come up with, just like any role-playing game. Like if you're playing D&D or Lancer or insert any other tabletop where you role play, that you get to do, like your choices matter. And I think it's something that we can work on and like help make the game even feel more special and fun.
And the thing is, I think the voting is still important because the thing about Drag Race is it is subjective. It's subjective through Ru at the end of the day. So I love the element of, you know, your teammates' opinions having sway. But yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying about there needing to be more incorporated into that element of the gameplay.
Because, like, for me, part of it is if you said to me that Bianca Del Rio came in and, like, belted a number, I'd be like, oh, are you sure? But if you say to me, Rosé comes in and belts a number, I'm like, aha, yes. So, like, it is funny because the challenges themselves, like, exactly like we're saying, it's sort of like, it reminds me of Anya Nerve winning the interpretive dance challenge. I don't think she did, you guys, but... She did. And, you know, that's the real election tampering. And so I feel like but Anya deserved to win. That was just me making a silly joke that she didn't deserve one win when she deserved so much. You've got that flex ready to talk. I got to give it to you.
Who did deserve to win that challenge, though? TK.
Yeah, well, that for one thing, nobody deserved. That challenge didn't deserve. That challenge lost us.
That challenge didn't deserve.
Yeah, that challenge did not deserve. But, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people felt like Anya didn't win the final lip sync. Whether or not she won the season, those are totally different things. But I think a lot of people, I mean, NICO, you felt that way. And that's completely fine. Not coming for you when I say that. But I think, you know, one element I'm wondering about is like, you know, how we talk about those types of things. You know, if you were to say, like, if somebody were to try to claim that Bianca went and belted a song in a challenge, and, like, you know, beat Rosé or try to find somebody else on another team who's a great
Saphira.
Saphira, thank you. Yeah. So if you were to say that there was a challenge and, like, you know, Bianca came out and belted versus Saphira came out and belted, I would hope that we as a group, somebody might raise their hand and be like, I got to block that and say that did not happen. I believe that she's the person you sent in for the challenge.
Right.
But, like, but I, you know, so, like, I had the thing that I said, Tori and I talked about our experiences. I had a lot of fun talking about what I think it plausibly could have happened with every single one of my girls. And that for me was like a big part of the fun, was imagining, like, legitimately who would do what in a situation. But I think it also would have been cool for somebody to be like, I think Katya wouldn't have done that well in that challenge, you know, like, and to maybe have the group kind of vote on that. I also sort of wonder about the next time we do this, maybe distinguishing between challenge wins and lip sync wins. To add an extra scoring element, where, you know, you can convince your fellow producers that your girl won the challenge, and then separate from that, there's some strategy that goes along with lip syncing. I have more ideas on this. It'll get too technical if I get into it, but, you know, what I really love is that we just played around with a bunch of different ideas, and I love that Tori and I spoke on two very different ends of the spectrum that I don't think are antithetical to each other in the gameplay of this game. I think they are both two ways to play and also two lanes of strategy that anybody who wanted to play a game like this should be focused on, both like what you're doing as a storyteller and as a teller of these girl stories, but also, like, realistically, numbers wise, some of these girls are not uniqueness girls. Some of these girls are not talent girls. And how do we see that? And what does that really mean?
Exactly. And I don't mean to say this as diminishing to how TK and I played this game, but I think both TK and I could come across as cautionary tales for going too far on one end of the other.
100%. I the whole time was like, oh yeah, none of my girls have good scores.
And so, and, you know, and what sticking to that kind of thing as opposed to kind of looking around and becoming flexible, as KEVO was saying, we, you know, the girls come in, they think they're the shit, they think they know exactly what they're doing, and then they gotta go, oh fuck, I'm surrounded by 15 other people who know what they're doing, and I gotta step my pussy up. So it's very much a lot of that, and I think there's lots of ways that we can approach things. I think we my favorite thing was we did some mini challenges early on, and I did find those to be a lot of fun, like goofy, quick, like the silly quick drag that the gals do on the show. I kind of felt like
WarioWare,
yeah, like we were just, it was kind of fun. And like I think that there's we had sort of had an idea, and I don't think we used it very much, where like the mini challenges have more an effect on how the challenges get played. And I think that layer is something that I'm excited to explore more when we do this again, because ding dong folks, we're gonna do this again.
I also feel like a lot of the mini challenges were very replayable in a really fun way, like the quick drag, draw a face. There's a lot of ways that you can do that and make it fun every time, that I think would keep a game like that fresh. The anagrams, that's one that's good to do. You know, there's a lot of really good mini challenges that we brainstormed.
And it's sort of in that spirit that one of the things that I'm thinking a lot about when it comes to this game is like, if we were to change it, let's say we did go to 6 girls. I don't need you to get rid of a single lady. I don't care about your points. I'm just here to say, who would you have loved to have brought to the table? I know I would have loved to have snagged up some morphine, and not like in a sad methadone way, in like a Love Dion kind of way. And so I would have just had a great time with her on my team. She is that bitch. And it's unanimous. She is spectacular, and she would have brought something really cool to my team that I kind of lacked. But like, that's one of those things where like, I'm imagining the Untucked. I'm imagining the Untucked of my girls. And that's where I would have loved her energy. Just being like, no, girl, sometimes you got to step it up and feel good. Julia, I see you asking, how do you play this? Mama, we are trying to put together a home edition. We
are
want
working on it.
This to you. If it's anything like when I started playing Magic the Gathering, tokens are going to go through a long, arduous process. But we are going to get this to a real sexy home edition place in your face. And just keep tight.
Wait, when did you guys put in the season 17 girls?
We
We
had to, because someone was talking about all-star stats, and so Lydia had to go in.
Did you just do these? Because I feel like I checked this like relatively recently.
That got done on like a Monday when the 5-hour meeting that I'd been prepping for a week for finally got started, and I got to like, and I needed to take a lunch break.
My thing is, I could list so many girls. I mean, right off the bat, like when I went to go check the list to like remind myself of everybody, the first thing I thought was Jinx. But my team had a ton of winners, and immediately my thought was like, it's also very obvious to go with the best girls, and it would be boring every time to just pick the girls who have won or done really well. And then that got me thinking, rather than talking about girls that I would like, another girl I'd like to have, like Susie Toot would be, that was why I asked about the season 17 girls. So I was like, I can't have Jinx, who do I want? Susie Toot. But no, I would love to talk about play with girl restrictions. Like you can only pick, we roll a dice, and if you roll the number 6, that means you can only pick second out girls. We roll a dice, and you can only pick girls who wear primarily blonde wigs. And to play a game where we're restricted in who we can pick, and it can't just be our favorites, but there is some element of restriction, and you have to maybe get a little creative, get a little bit outside your box, think about girls that you wouldn't normally have thought about, maybe even force you to go back and rewatch a little bit of seasons that you don't quite remember, so you can really engage with somebody who you haven't seen before. There's a lot of different ways we could play this game.
Yeah, there's so many. I know that we had put in like a points drafting kind of thing. Maybe we chose too high. Maybe it's that if you're a winner who hasn't been on All Stars, you're only worth 5 or 6 points total. And so I know that there's a lot of ways. I like that like dice rolling thing. Like maybe there's a 20-sided die, and like you get that's the season you got to pull from, like those kinds of things. That's really, I love that. I know for me, I'm looking at my team and I'm like, this team is actually kind of the opposite of the kind of queens that I personally root for in a season. Yes, Andrew, Miss Vanjie is an excellent other choice. I'm thinking that I would want to probably round it out with a camp queen, someone who I understood, someone who I could know inside out, know how she would react to things. Because campy queens are where my heart is, and I chose a lot of fishy fashion cunty queens that I felt could really crush. And so I think that that's kind of where I would want to round out.
Sorry, real quick, thank you so much for reminding me of my favorite Dr. Seuss book, Fishy Fashy Cuntin Queens. I can't even say it. It was so funny the way you said it.
Fishy fashion cunty queens, yeah.
I didn't even hit it. That was perfect.
So yeah, and so like that's sort of where I am, and it's so we had actually set this up to be very specifically the US queens. We did not include queens from the UK, Canada, Down Under, or any non-English speaking things. As a matter of fact, if they showed up in a global scenario, it was just their stat. It wasn't like we added in everybody else. Like Jimbo is missing from the All Stars 8 lineup list and things like that. So my heart actually is kind of saying that at some point we are probably going to expand to at minimum UK, Canada, and Down Under. And of course, I would choose La Voix pour moi.
Oh, try again first, George.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sing when it gets on the mic.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're allowed to get international with it,
Woo!
one of my top 3 winners of all time, Priyanka, who, like me, was struggling mentally. That's a specific Drag Race reference. That's not how I view her. No, but I love Priyanka. I would have loved to have drafted Priyanka. I would have, if I went before TK in the lineup, I would have stolen Susie too. There's so many people even from this current season, but there's people like, I wish I drafted Bosco. I wish I even had a little bit more fun with it, because the way that I went about it was whose runs on Drag Race that I really enjoy, that I really love, and like who did I think did well-rounded enough in different kinds of categories that I can see them winning anything that I had to put them in, because of the stipulation of, you know, trying to use different girls each week and not using the same ones over and over again. No, I think it would be fun to even just have a wider pool and maybe even limit, some stipulation, even more stipulations, maybe like one winner, regular season or all-stars only, and kind of force you to choose people that maybe you didn't initially think about or you didn't initially see. Maybe changing points up or totals based off of, did you win a season? How, all these different things to make the drafting feel a little bit more fun and a little more varied, so no one feels like they have to draft certain people. Because you look at people like Miss Roxy Andrews with a lip sync score of 8, and you're like, oh, she should probably be going around first pick every time. So I think it would be really fun to give really fun incentives to choose people that you adore, choose people that you love, so that you can fully draft the people that are the queens that you relate to.
It's in that same way that I feel like we should say, number one, none of the girls from this season, again, they're out for next season, right? Can't redraft these girls. They need a season off. They got to go on tour. But then, I wish we could take it a step, because I would love to have a Monopoly board where we could land on spaces and pick up new queens. But
give us time.
Oh yeah, and we totally can. We can be like, hey, for this challenge, guess what? You're swapping out a queen. Pick 2. Pick 2, take 1.
I threw Lawrence Chaney into a group challenge without any permission whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was one challenge. I was pick another girl from the other girls, use that girl, because I wanted to see it all come together.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. That's sort of how we landed on where we wanted to do this for you guys this time, is that we really wanted to have that first draft. How does this work? Because a game doesn't work. You won't know if it works or not until you play it. And we could have spent years just screwing around with how does this work? How does it work with if it's not 4 people? And so the top girl from each producer doesn't equal out to a number that can bracket into like a 1 winner lip sync. Like those kinds of things are stuff that we sort of sidebarred for a bit. And I think that there's some really, really exciting, wonderful thoughts going on in here, and it's making me have thoughts that I don't want to text NICO about in the middle of the episode because we'll get very distracted very quickly.
I also think that playing live really helped because it added an element. It kept us on our toes. It helped keep us engaged with our audience and kept us, looking for what people were engaged with and what we felt really was something that would be a good, fun, tight game to play as a group. Whereas if we were playing on our own, it could have played out differently. So I'm glad that we took our audience along on this journey with us. And don't forget to check out our playlist section so you can find our Drag Race Draft playlist along with our Drag Race coverage playlist and everything else for our coverage.
And it's in that space that I do want to say, like, everybody do check those out because I want to say my favorite moment. I think my favorite moment was discovering how many songs and reads you ridiculous fools had inside of you.
Oh my God. Yes, that was such a good challenge.
Discovering that my best friend and big brother had bars in him, seeing Jonah come alive with his little reads, getting all sassy, watching Tori transform her look week after week in a way that elevated the game. Like, I think that was my favorite thing, was seeing the 3 of you come alive like it was the Pink Pony Club on a Tuesday night.
Loved. And also deeply humbled at many points. Deeply humbled in these challenges. You think it's easy. It ain't. It takes time. It takes work. It do take nerve.
And that is part of it. Like, it actually do take nerve. Like, it was nerve-wracking because, like, one of the things is I put out there excellence. And, I was like, what are they going to think about my song? And then it went great. I felt good about it. So I would love to know, Jonah, what for you was a highlight? What for you really clicked as a moment?
For me, my favorite moment, there are a couple things that I love. One of them is doing the anagrams and me just kind of zoning out like this and then snapping to say the name. I kind of went into a trance of, got it. My brain really processed all the words and all the letters. Actually, my favorite moment was from the first episode where everybody ended up with a badge. No shenanigans, no nothing. It just happened to work out that way. That the first episode happened to be a tie, and the first episode was giving out badges to other producers. That made it special and made it a little more fun.
I love that. TK, big bro extraordinaire, favorite guy, best buddy. What was it for you? Where was the magic, as it was?
It really was in hearing everybody talk about their girls and like just imagine scenarios because this is especially fun game to play with enthusiasts and I find you can drag a group together and get them to play D&D and it can often be really fun but I end up playing a lot of D&D with people who are not into the worlds of fantasy and are it's kind of like the community D&D episodes where like it's funny, everybody has a good time, but like nobody really knows what anything is, nobody has experience with fantasy worlds, and so you're just kind of having fun on a lark. But like every once in a while in my life I get to play RPGs with other people who play a lot of role-playing games, or I play something, like I used to have the most fun in college, the most fun Star Wars RPG with a bunch of Star Wars nerds, and everybody knew Star Wars really well. So they went so in depth and they had so many ideas, and it was just a really, really great game. This is just kind of another example where it was the 5 of us, all of whom have seen way too much of this show, know way too much about all of these queens. And so we would actually story tell some really great ideas about what they would do in a given moment. And nobody ever really said anything where I was like, that fucking idiot, that girl would never do that. You know, some of the things I was like, that's a little bit of a stretch, but like, in a fun way to imagine it, not in like this poor dummy doesn't get who this girl is at all. And so I just got to kind of like nod along with friends about like, yeah, like I could totally see that. And I just, you know, as somebody who loves storytelling no matter what, and thinks that storytelling gaming is just the funnest thing you can do, I think there's one way in which this game is so obvious, because like there are so many stats involved, and it really is it's such a numbers game in a lot of ways. But there's this whole other way in which you would never imagine that telling the story of how they all made sitcom send-ups is just as much as of a fantasy role-playing moment as talking about how a group of adventurers is going to get from one place to another.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to say, speaking of these graphics that KEVO keeps pulling together for all of our challenges has been beyond one of the top reasons to watch the like specific episodes
I'm coming in with
that we're
singles.
putting out. Like, it's such a joy to watch it grow every week and become more and more and more specific and more gorgeous. It was just everything to me. I love the visuals. I'm so glad, because you know, so much of when you play a board game live on a video streaming site, sometimes it doesn't really work, particularly when it's like a card game, I guess is what we would call this. And so to have these visuals, KEVO, was just so wonderful. So wonderful.
You know,
Thanks.
KEVO, one of the things that you did was you took what was there and you grew it so much. Something like there is no such thing as a video game remaster. And it's because you literally can't remaster graphics that were created, because you can't upscale something from its existence. Like, it doesn't work, right? And so you can only shine something so much. And one of the things, KEVO, that you do so well is you'll take a situation where there is so little graphic material and you'll grow something so beautiful out of it. But what is so incredible to get to see is when it's a community like the Drag Race community, where the amount of art assets is extraordinary and you have the world at your fingertips, seeing what you create with an actual bounty is amazing.
Thanks. It's fun. I love what we do. I mean, look at the effort that Tori is putting in, the effort that everyone brought in this season. It's why I am going through and making the repacks for some of our early stuff, because everyone did such amazing jobs. And, you know, we like to say this has our season 1 filter. We were coming up with a lot of this on the fly, and the hope is that I will be able to have more stuff ready live for the next go around. But you know, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I love making this stuff, and thank you as always to the Drag Race Wikia, which has, oh my god, so many amazing images and resources to use to represent these queens, because they're just so amazing, and that's a huge part of what this game is and has been, is celebrating them, celebrating what they do, and taking our experience and our love for Drag Race and translating it into you know, something that everyone can have fun with. And whether we want to do something next where we bracket ourselves in more with certain limitations, if we want to do something down the line where it's a world where all of the queens also have superpowers, they're not going to fight crime, but everyone also has a mutation, and how will that affect their gameplay? Stuff like that. I am really excited to see what we can do. The sky is the limit for what we can do with Drag Race Draft.
And speaking of the sky is the limit, one of the things that I know, like, it's a game, and so like you can only go so far, but I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to give every girl their beautiful flowers And so we're going to do things in a unique order. We're going to take a cue from Ru and run a live event really strangely. And so we're going to pick our final girls. Nope, not final girls. We're going to pick our girls for the finals. Got it. Before we do a special little bit. So Kevo, would you please pull up the board? Now, folks at home, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary royalty, all along playing at home. These folks can pick any girl with a badge to enter into the finale. She does not need to be the girl with the most badges. She does not need to be the girl with the tied number of badges. Nope. Producer's choice. You just need to pick the girl you want to put in the finale. And as a reminder, everybody is going to be slightly beholden to the magic of the lip sync score. So do remember that your lip sync score is going to make a difference. So I'm here to remind everybody, as Kevo has up on the board, that we have Team NICO with Vanjie, Simone, Raja, Heidi, and Saphira. Now, I only have 3 girls I can enter. TK over in the bottom right corner has Katya, Jada, and Willow who can enter, but Bob and Violet sadly did not earn badges. Sad. Team Tori, Shay or Roxy, but Jesus, girls, it's like picking platinum or diamonds. God damn.
Whoops.
And then Jonah, you have the most options, with Trinity, Nymphia, Rose, and Bianca all being eligible to compete. Only Naomi needs to deal with the fact that sometimes life isn't fair. So,
I already know who I'm going with because I believe that Roxy Andrews deserves a shot at another crown.
I could not agree more. I love that choice. One of the things that as we played through this, Roxy had the strongest lip sync numbers in general, just like by life. So
across the board. And yet, sometimes still lost to people like Bianca Del Rio.
Truly.
Who has no business beating Roxy Andrews in a lip sync. And even she would say that.
Kevo, would you please pull up that beautiful board one more time? So I'm going to be entering none other than Ms. Simone. I love her. She's so spectacular. She has my best lip sync score, so obviously.
Good call.
And she's got a badge, so mama come through.
I will, of course, be taking Miss Willow Pill because she has the best lip sync score, and I can't trust Katya.
Can't trust her.
And since Tori already said who she is, I am choosing Miss Current Step Down, Miss Nymphia Wind.
So, going into the final is Simone, Nymphia Wind, Roxy Andrews, and Willow Pill. And with that in mind, I would like to now hand out some superlatives. Producers, any girl at all, yours, someone else's, just give flowers. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to give my flowers to, I'm going to call her Miss Dunkin' Donuts, because goddamn, we ran on her all season long. Katya, for a person who did not appear on this podcast once, physically made us laugh harder than anyone else in the year of our Lord Michelle Visage 2025. And so until Michelle gets a Garden State Parkway rest stop, Miss Dunkin' Donuts is going to be Katya forever.
Love.
Now, I would like to point out that you do not need to be quite as creative with all of these titles. But I would just like to say that there were girls that like really stood out for us in our gameplay. If no other reason, I think I would also need to give the Voice That Lives in Your Head award to any time Tori played Chanel. I could hear Chanel in my head speaking in Chanel voice. So Miss Lives in Your Head is Chanel. And unfortunately, it seems like I'm paying her rent.
I want to give it up to someone that I was honestly surprised by. TK made me like Violet a lot more than I thought I would ever, and I really kind of enjoyed having Violet playing amongst us. So that was my surprise, a new tchotchke for your shelf kind of moment.
Oh,
I
come
think-
through.
I gotta give the out of the box award to Miss Bianca Del Rio. You know, it was so brave of her to come back after talking so much shit about how when you win the first time, you don't need to come back. But she wanted to show the world who she was. She wanted to expand her horizons. And, you know, it was just a different show back then. But Bianca really showed up to a lot of challenges that I would not have thought were in Bianca's wheelhouse. And she impressed me every time. Her go-get-em attitude, her willingness to just take one for the team. She truly is that queen, and I just love her for it.
Baloney. Baloney. Who would I like to give an award to? Superlative, if I could. Okay, well, make sure. You know, I want to give she's been that girl we always knew she's been to Simone, because I think Simone is severely underrated in terms of her winning, in terms of her not lip sync run, of her winner's run on season 13. I just kind of came to adore her more as a performer and thinking about more of what she could have done. And now she's on my wish list for all winners too.
You know, I do in fact want a piece of her. That's why I cast her. It's why I put her in the finals. I feel good about it. You know, but there are a couple of other girls that I just want to make sure that I put a little magic out there for. There were very few things I got to do this year that made me laugh quite as hard as hearing the way everybody would reimagine these real people as characters in performances. And I think the use of Trinity might have stretched
Thank you.
her already elastic face as far as it can go. I loved it. I think it was so much fun. And I really just, I had a great time hearing Trinity come alive in that same way that Tori said that Violet became kind of new for her.
Trinity as Graceless Adler was one of mine for sure.
Guys, I think unless anybody got any more awards they're desperate to give out, I think it might be that time. We might be ready to have the final lip sync for the crown. So, as always, we go to google.com and we roll d20s. But things are going to be a little different tonight. We're going to do things a little special. And so so Tori is privately messaging me behind the scenes because she's an amazing producer. We are going to do a Lollapalooza at some point. It's going to be big. It's going to be la-la. But the truth is, you guys gave us so many amazing ideas while producing the episode for ways to make it more fun than just D20, D20, D20. But now we got to step it up. The pussy is at the sky. And so, like, now that it is the penthouse pussy, we have to keep stepping it up.
Penthouse pussy. God, I need that on a shirt.
Right? Me too.
Work on it.
So, what I really need are all of those insane Yellow Jacket Survivor actual merch that they produce to match the commercial. So insane. So let us move to our competition. Now, I do believe it is only fair that as Jonah has the most girls with the most badges, Jonah, I believe you do not get to pick anything because you have too many badges. So Tori, as the producer with the least girls with badges, you get to pick your opponent.
Well, this is. I don't think this is fair, babes. But you know what? We're just gonna eeny meeny miny moe it. Cause what? We've got Simone from season 13. We've got Nymphia from season 16. We've got Willow Pill from season 14. And so first third, second third it is, says the dice. So that's Willow Pill.
All right. So it's going to be Roxy Andrews versus Willow Pill. It's sort of interesting. Why does the larger of the two drag queens not simply eat the smaller of the two drag queens?
She may try.
She might.
She may try.
She might.
She really could. She could just literally. I feel like Roxy Andrews is like a magical transformer, and she just flips her wig around and becomes Raquel Welch, and then she just flips her wig around and becomes J-Lo, and then just flips her wig around and eats Willow Pill.
She's got 7 reveals under there. She's ready to go.
It's because she is like an actual eternal creature who can shapeshift. And so I feel like she must be either eating youth or there is a portrait of her out there looking like all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So, okay. And that does, of course, mean that Jonah, it will be your wonderful Nymphia win versus my wonderful Simone. So I believe, Jonah, let's roll first. That sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Good luck, ladies. Everybody. And may the best drag queen win.
Oh, I see Jonah's face doing funny things.
All right.
You got a total of an 18.
I got a total of a 21.
Congratulations. Jonah is moving on to the finals. I guess there's got to be one in every time. It's fine. It's fine. Let's call it my butterflies. It's no big deal. It's just my butterflies. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm going to mistress off of this stage. I will. No, I'm so happy for you, Jonah. Nobody rolled a digital dice better than you. So let's. No, for real. I'm having the best time. I just really did want to mistress and Lux about the stage for a minute. TK, Tori, guys, it's time.
It's the battle of the T, baby. 1, 2, 3.
Natural 20.
Did you?
Yep.
All right. Well, I rolled a 16, so that makes me a 24. Done.
Sorry.
So it's going to be
Sorry,
Willow
Rox.
Pill versus Nymphia Wind for the final.
They're gonna get caught up in each other's wires and contraptions.
Who's going to be goofier? We don't know.
All right.
I hope everyone's on the edge of their seats. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
I love the math faces these boys make.
Okay.
What do we got? Jonah.
I rolled a 14, so I have a total of 17.
I also got 17.
Double crown.
Uh-oh.
Double crown.
It's
crown.
true. It's true. We are a happy
Double
friendly
crown.
group. Double
Well,
crown.
Is this for the crown or is this for a number of badges? Because I have the lowest number of badges.
It's for the crown. Double crown.
the crown,
Double
baby.
crown.
We have twins. Twins. Yay.
I love this. We have double. You know, you want it, and it makes you so happy. Because like I'd even said to KEVO that like I didn't want to walk away from here without everybody getting a beautiful crown. Because everybody that played filled us with so much imagination that we were so excited. So there's the winner's crowns, of course, the winner's crowns, which was supposed to be 1 crown, but now it's 2 crown because everybody here got hit by a bus and looks like a rock star. So Jonah and TK, congratulations on your dual winner's crowns. And then Tori and I, we get to pick from the beautiful remaining crowns that are also stunning and also come with a year's supply of makeup from that lady, Normani or whatever.
Yes. Miss Anastasia herself of the Beverly Hills.
No, that was great, guys. I'm so proud. Congratulations to Nymphia for another crown, really. And to Willow for another crown. Really, wow.
I wasn't prepared for a double win, but we are just going to say this is
Roxy was
because
here.
Willow is so tiny.
Yeah,
She's
I love
tiny.
it.
It's a willow pill.
She's just a
Um,
little bit.
No,
She's
this
a
was
will
so-
winner.
So this game does look fun, Robbie. Everyone's gonna be able to play at home. I cannot wait. And this was just so special because like the gamification of things, getting to be part of this. I love that we have the green crown for Willow, we have the teal crown for Nymphia, we have the purple crown for Roxy, and we have the royal blue crown for Simone. Notice how I'm royal.
And can I share something with you? You know, a little behind the scenes insider information. A lot of people who came to our finale coverage were looking for Nymphia. So you know what? She is hot. She is wanted. She is valued. She is a winner. And so
She is the moment.
And Willow Pill's finale single personally is honestly one of the songs I most listen to of all of the Queen singles. So I am super thrilled for our two winners. This has been such a fun, exciting game, and it really shows going right down to the end. You never know how this game is going to go. Even as we go over the rules and start tweaking things, you're still going to find in live gameplay, you know, there will be surprises.
And you know, I just man, there was something so fun because like you mentioned that you love Willow's song. I love Lucky so much. It's like one of my favorite pieces of music ever from Drag Race. And I so associate that with Simone's verse. And like I have such a good time with this group of girls, with getting to see Nymphia again and imagine all the things she'd get to do, getting to see Roxy again. And like it's so funny, but there is something magical about getting to think that the show that was meant to give a voice to queer people has given so much more than a voice. It's given us a game to play along with. I've had the best fucking time. I really have. We have a really cool surprise that we're going to end the episode with, but I want to give everybody a chance to say their ooh la las and drink their oolongs and feel good, because I have just had the most rewarding, satisfying season, and it's because of you lovelies sitting alongside. Hello.
Had such a blast. I don't have a ton to say. This is just really fun, and I can't wait to play around with it more and find more ways to make it interesting and hopefully get it out there to the world sometime soon.
Yeah, I didn't think that there was an up to in comparison to how much fun I already have covering Drag Race with all of you. But being able to put this together and kind of goof off and like get competitive a little bit and really dive into these gals was just so much fun to do every week with our audience. And I cannot wait until we are sitting on our multi-million-dollar empire of this game and playing it for you every night just for funsies.
Jonah, what you got?
I just like playing games with y'all. Y'all are fun, y'all are creative, y'all are beautiful, and it just makes me happy. I like being creative with you guys. I like seeing what you guys think, and I like engaging with our own intermittent fandom of how you guys see the show, what you guys like, the queens you resonate with. I think that's really cool. It helps me remind me that, you know, the fandom is a big place, and everybody has their own different tastes and things that they love.
Kevo, how about you, Mr. Producer?
You know, we love to say that we like to think of Drag Race as sport that very rarely has an off season. We love to view it as an athletic event, and we love to view it by that rubric and the ability to critique it by that rubric. And so it's been really fun to come up with a way to fantasy draft that aspect of it because it is such a quantifiable thing. You know, and as we always, you know, asterisk, you know, it is never a reflection of these girls, what we think of them, what they are like in real life. It is the quantifiable metrics by which they played this game and how we feel they would do in a fantasy draft. So it's been a lot of fun to workshop that with you guys and use our imaginations. You know, I've been going back and doing the repacks of our live broadcasts because when we first started, we didn't really know exactly what we were doing. We didn't know how to be prepared, and I wanted to do things that bring it back up to the caliber of all the things that we're describing. So as we go forward, I want to be able to have those things ready live, as you could even see if you go into our Drag Race Draft playlist, where I have every single broadcast where we played an episode of this game. You can see later on, you know, it got better. But in the meantime, I've been going back, and that is why I have prepared a little snippet from, hold on, let me bring up the episode cover, the Must She TV acting challenge for us to go out on. So you can see everyone's pitches for their sitcoms. That'll be about 5 minutes to play us out on this video. So make sure to check that out and go check out the whole video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our whole channel for the plethora of coverage that we do across all nations, but mostly Drag Race and Marvel, including the Thunderbolts coverage that we did last night.
So I can't wait to come back, talk about all of this and more. And until then, Tori, where can everybody find you online?
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
Jonah, how about you?
You can find me places at Peak Jonah.
KEVO.
You can find me at KEVO Really. That's KEVOREALOY.
Hey, what you got, TK?
It's TK Accidental. How about you, Nico?
That's NICO Action, NICO ACTION, plus my music at NICO Action Music, NICO ACTION MUSIC. If you guys want to check out all about this amazing show, that's going to be X is for show, X is for podcast, and HTML, Husbands Talking More or Less, available on all of your Stitcher, podcast, social media thingies. Just download it. We're really cool. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're so pretty. Feed us. But the other thing you guys can do for yourselves, you guys can remember to stay safe. It's a crazy world out there. You guys can remember to be brave, because we love who you are. Don't forget that you guys need to evolve daily, because who you were yesterday, incredible. Who you are today, amazing. But who you are tomorrow, that's the dream. But if you're going to do one more thing, we want you guys to chill out, lay back, watch this clip, and we're going to see you guys on the other side.
Bye.
All right, give me a second while I make sure I've got it.
Oh, well, another second. Well, we are just going to goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye.
Hold the
Goodbye.
camera.
Goodbye now, everybody. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Gals.
Hold on.
See,
I didn't do it. That's there.
I think I'm going to get us a rollin'.
Let's do this.
Get this roast a cooking. Over on Gals, I really see it focused around Saphira's neurotic Monica, while Raja is the sexy fashionista Rachel, and Miss Vanjie is just the most deranged, insane version of Phoebe you've ever seen. Just coming in shouting about the cab, and like just being insane and wonderful. I see them getting up to a lot closer to living single kind of hijinks. But I would imagine the adorable sketch would be filled with the most silly, draggiest references to Rachel hair. No, I get to wear the Rachel hair. No, I get to wear the Rachel hair. And lots of wigs, lots of fun. And I just feel like it would be a good time.
Sure.
Nice.
Who's going next?
Can I go?
Oh, go.
Yes.
So I got Will and Graceless, starring Rose as Will Truewoman, Trinity as Graceless Adler, and Bianca Del Rio as Karen Sissy That hyphenated Walker. And the episode follows them doing wacky hijinks of physical comedy through Karen just kind of entering and stealing the scene as she normally does. I think this would be, I don't know, they probably could just do a Will and Grace challenge and it probably would fit pretty well into what they actually do. I imagine Rose can really play the uptight, obsessive character very well. Trinity can play the wacky, kind of selfish, like, I'm in it for me, but also I'm adorable. And Bianca just comes in to steal the scene.
Jojo, down to the names, I am so here to watch your sketch. 1,000%. That just, Jojo, you just unleashed your yes and.
Hooray.
Yay.
Who's next?
For me, I have office gossip.
Oh.
We have Chanel coming in playing kind of in that Dwight figure. We've got Shay just mugging into the camera as Jim, and then we've got Roxy playing kind of that Pam at the desk kind of straight person to the wackiness around her. And I think it's gonna be a heavy like pranking each other thing between the three of them, going round and round, one of those kinds of episodes that I think we'll really get to enjoy seeing Chanel just chewing the scenery as this Dwight character. Lots of times for Shay to mug at the camera really quick, and plenty of time for Roxy to be just like dazzling and gorgeous. And then all of a sudden, instead of Pam's characteristic sweetness, just come out with those look the same. And be really bitchy about it. So that's what we're bringing, and they're feeling pretty pleased with themselves right about now.
I love that. I never would have seen Chanel as the Dwight, and that totally changed the game for me. Like Trinity as Satan. Like that is like so fun and like transformative.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. All right, TK, you have
So I've got Gager, and Katya is of course Gager.
Okay.
Willow Pill stars as her sister Piles, and Bob is her co-host Riz. And we get a special guest appearance this episode from Lawrence Chaney as Daphne. And
Yeah, I'll allow it.
And so, of course, we start out with Gager and Riz taking a call. And, of course, the callers are RuPaul and Michelle Visage and Ross Matthews. And later, Piles comes in, and he's trying to figure out how to confess his love for Daphne, who bursts into the office because there's a problem with the dad. Hijinks ensue, but the budget is low, so we never move out of this one set.
oh
Smart.
Amazing.
guys, I love these shows. This is the improv challenge they got to do. This is must-see TV, guys. What an amazing time.